Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Oh, it's only been a 6-month hiatus, but the boys, J Merch and Money Malcolm, are back with pure finesse. Oh, I don't know if everyone's forgotten that name or not, but
we're still around.
The boys are back, and it's been a long time, so it might refresh us. We might be a little struggling with the first episode or not, but a lot has happened since we've been off the air, and all the big four sports are back with fans. I know last time we talked, it probably wasn't like that.
No.
So let's just get right into it with the best sport in the world, in the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL has been so good this season so far. A lot of up and downs for a lot of teams that we'll get into. A lot of star players that are breaking out. Some players playing like they just were last year too. So we're going to get right into it and get with one of the most dominant dynasties of this era, our generation for sure, is the New England Patriots. And right now, the New England Patriots are looking pretty good. They're still sitting, They're sitting atop in their division right now, still ahead of the Buffalo Bills, surprisingly. Mac Jones and the Pats are leading the way. It just begs to differ the question, right? Was Bill Belichick the genius all along, or was Tom Brady the GOAT?
It's exactly that. I think it's a double-edged sword because both players, or I should say players, Bill Belichick's arguably the best coach to live, especially in our time. And Mac Jones, looking like he's the best rookie quarterback of that draft, if it's not Trevor Lawrence. Because, we were talking about how he was some people were labeling him as a bust. You're a big fan of Joe Burrow labeling him as a bust.
No, I was labeling Mac Jones as the bust. I was always saying he's going to be the Josh Rosen of this draft. Here he is, proving me wrong, right? They've won 5 in a row. They're sitting atop of the division. I don't like to see it because I hate the Pats and Mac Jones, everything Alabama, but right now they're doing pretty good.
And it's not to say that he has been not being able to be noticed. He is arguably the best player on the offense right now, tossing 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and throwing for over 2,500 passing yards. And his completion percentage rate is arguably one of the best in the league.
It's above 70%.
Exactly that. This 5-game winning streak that they're doing, and this defense.
Oh my goodness.
Is returning to old times with Tom Brady era Pats. With how good this defense has been playing.
Well, that's how Tom Brady won most of his championships, right? Against the Rams, where that was the most low-scoring game or Super Bowl game of all time. It has to be. But their defense has been playing amazing. Matthew Judon has been. Do you know what this celebration is? I have no idea what this celebration is.
Slime.
Slime. It's just my slime.
This guy's from Toronto. Everybody doesn't know it.
I'm not from Toronto.
R.I.P. Debbie.
Even though I say slime on a daily basis, I still don't know what that meant, but 10.5 sacks, you'll see that after every time he makes a sack. J.C. Jackson has been playing great too, 6 interceptions. The whole team, 3 interception touchdowns, 3 pick sixes on the year. J.C. Jackson having won them. Phillips and Van Noy. Van Noy, another great player, been able to get the sacks, the fumbles, the interceptions. He's doing everything, so this defense has been doing everything for this team, and a big reason why they're on this 5-game win streak.
And that sets up a huge matchup for the Pats and the Bills, December 6th on Monday Night Football. The Bills, I believe, were they were obviously the favorite to win the division.
Yeah.
But arguably the Super Bowl favorite to come out of the AFC, definitely through the first 5 weeks of the season.
100%.
Kansas City Chiefs started their season, and a couple of bad losses for the Bills in the last couple of weeks.
Very bad losses. Well, they're 6-4-0 right now, right? They claimed that last wild card spot in their last 5 games. They're only 2-3. Of those 3 losses to the Jags, Josh Allen on the Jags, beating Josh Allen on the Bills. That was a 9-6 loss for the Bills.
Very high scoring.
Yeah, very good game. And then just yesterday, just on Sunday, you saw Jonathan Taylor pounded in for 5 touchdowns, and they won against the Bills 41-15, the Colts did. So is it really a sign to be worried? Should they be pressing that panic button right now?
Well, we're halfway, second half of the season now, and the way the Bills are trending and the way the Pats are trending, they haven't played each other yet divisionally.
Yeah.
And I know Buffalo's got a lot more division games left than the Patriots have, so I know there's a lot more football to be played, and it's a very cliche thing to say.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not like they're a faraway stretch. Buffalo has had their bye week, Patriots haven't, so that's why the division is kind of slim right now because they're 7-4, Bills are 6-4.
Yep, I think so.
Bye week is going to take a lot to say when the Patriots get on it and when the Bills play that game when the Pats are on it. So they got to make what's best of what's left of the season for sure.
Just want to say before we go on, I think this might be the first podcast where we're sitting in the same room. Am I correct?
Well, there was one. And
there was one?
That was post.
Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pre-second wave.
The little quiz we had going on there with Trevor. Yeah.
Real sexy, if you ask me.
Yeah. Having a guess on them. Yeah. But I just like having this environment. I don't know if you guys appreciate the jerseys in the background.
The toilet paper wall.
So some of the best players on the best teams of all time. I just wanted to point that out before we go along here. But we're going to go talk about one of my favorite teams here, Troy Polamalu on the Steelers. The close divisions in the AFC North and AFC West. In the AFC North right now, we have the Ravens at top with a 7-3 record. The Bengals in second with a 6-4 record. And then my Steelers, 5-4-1, the one tie against the Detroit Lions. And then the Browns right there at the bottom, 6-5 Jays Brownies over here. Very close division, though, because all the teams are still above 500. So we don't really know. I think both of us think the Ravens will win this division with the way our teams are playing right now, barely scraping out wins and tying the Detroit Lions. It's not something you like to see. But who is your prediction for this division? Obviously, if it wasn't the Browns, who do you think would win?
Yeah, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
They're the best defense, and if they have Lamar Jackson, I think it's pretty hard to not bet against them. But as a whole, I would say in the NFL this year, there's no clear-cut division winners. Because division winners are losing to terrible teams, or division leaders, I should say, are losing to terrible teams. Just for example, the Ravens. They lost to Miami Thursday night last week. The Chiefs in the AFC West we'll get to in a second. They've had some bad losses this year.
Yeah.
They were fending off being 500. So I think this is the most wide open the NFL's been in a long time with trying to say who's trying to make the Super Bowl.
And you love to see that, right? Because we've just been having the Tom Brady era for so long, him making the Super Bowl every year, and just the same teams making it every year. So it's kind of nice to see, kind of like that from the NHL, you see different teams every year making the finals. That's what I want to see in the NFL. But like Jay was saying, in the AFC West, it's another close division with all four teams above 500 or 500. The Chiefs 7-4 at the top right now, so they clawed their way back to the top. The Chargers kind of slipping, but got that win yesterday, that barn burner against the Steelers. So they're 6-4, and then the Raiders and Broncos are both 5-5. The Broncos just signing Courtland Sutton to a 4-year, $60 million. I think it was $37 million guaranteed. What do you think about that signing? I know they've had a lot of wide receiver core, like a lot of injuries with like Jerry Jeudy and whatnot.
And
but
him last year tearing his ACL.
Exactly. So what do you think about this signing?
Well, when he's healthy, I think Courtland Sutton's one of the best receivers in the league.
He is really good.
Fantasy owners know a couple years ago, not a big deal. Thank you very much. I'll take my money to the bank. Thank you very much. Courtland Sutton's a really good receiver. He's deservingly so of that money. But, yeah, like you said, Denver's got a pretty good receiving core when you talk about Jerry Jeudy, talk about Tim Patrick.
KJ Hamler.
When he comes back toward his ACL. And it's just a common theme for Denver receivers.
Exactly.
Tearing ACLs. I don't know. We should just evolve as a human species and all, but the ACL is just it's the Achilles heel, no pun intended.
When you're talking about any sports, like everyone's tearing their ACL. I think at some point humans will.
Accident, let's take it out of their body. Like Heinz Ward kind of just get rid of your ACL.
Just get rid of it, exactly. But like we were mentioning before, we're talking about the Titans, and they had a few bad losses, right? But they've been playing good without Derrick Henry, minus that loss to the Texans yesterday, where Tannehill threw what 4 picks. 4 picks. That's awful. But they're 2-1 without Henry playing in a game right now. They beat the Rams, which I think a lot of people did not expect since Henry was out. They won 28 to.
It's not like it was a close game either.
Exactly, 28-16, good win. And then they beat the Saints. It was kind of closer, 2 points, so it was 23-21. They still got the win without their, I'd say their MVP in Derrick Henry. So, do you think they're still going to be able to ride this train without Henry?
Those Indianapolis Colts are pretty hot on their heels right now.
Yeah.
After they absolutely obliterated the Buffalo Bills.
Jonathan Taylor's just another species of a man.
Fantasy points, not a big deal. Has him in fantasy. But Titans are obviously missing the MVP. I would say when he's healthy, he's going to be the next running back to win the MVP.
Has to be.
Peterson.
Has to be.
And it's kind of ironic because Adrian Peterson's on the Titans.
Yeah, he filled in for him.
So they're going to have to start playing good football because it's only a 2-game. It's a 1-game swing in between both the Titans and the Colts record right now. If they lose and they win. So, but I do think they're going to get a wild card spot either way. So I think they're kind of a lock to make the playoffs. And Derrick Henry's coming back.
He is going to come back. Exactly, yep.
So he'll be ready to come playoff time.
Exactly. I think when playoff time comes, they'll make a deep run in the playoffs with him.
But if they want to win the division, it's got to be Ryan Tannehill that's going to have to get them there because their defense is pretty darn good. But you're not going to win the game throwing 4 picks.
And they've got a few good receiving options, like an A.J. Brown and Ferks.
Just some common names.
Just some common names, right? Julio Jones when he's healthy, Hammy Julio. But we'll see where that goes. One division that was talked about a lot, I know, last year was the NFC East. And
for all the wrong reasons.
For being the worst division in football. Right now, the Cowboys are not looking too shabby, except for their performance against the Chiefs again. But they're at top in the NFC East. CeeDee Lamb leading the team in reception yards, and he's concussed. He's out. I don't know for how long he's going to be out. It did not look good. He banged his head right on the turf, so he's going to be out for at least a few weeks. With a concussion. Maybe a couple. We saw Chris Boswell, right? He got banged up against your Browns. He was back a week later, so who knows? If the kicker can do it, maybe CD can do it. But
kickers are people too, just for a heads up.
Kickers are people too. But Dak Prescott, he's coming back. 2,500 plus passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 picks. I would
say a lot for comeback player of the year.
I think so, exactly. I was about to say the same exact thing. He's got to be, if they keep this pace up, he's got to be comeback player of the year. You got Zeke and Tony Pollard, who I don't think a lot of people knew about him. I've only known about him because I had one friend who was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I never hear the end about Tony Pollard, how he's going to be so great. And look at him. They got a disgusting backfield.
We should be expecting a Snapchat maybe next week if they win, saying, "Oh, we're back, we're back."
We're back, exactly.
After what? Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
We heard about it after. So they beat the Falcons. Good for you.
Anyone can beat the Falcons. Like the Detroit Lions, that's who I think they're going to beat. They're going to beat the Falcons. But again, on the defensive side, like we said for some other teams like the Pats, they're playing really good defensively with a DPOY candidate maybe in Stephon Diggs' brother, with 8 interceptions and 2 touchdowns in 10 games only. So do you think he's going to be one of those candidates for DPOY? He has to be,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
The defense in Dallas has definitely made the biggest jump out of any defensive unit from last season.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn's got them feeling another type of way right now. I don't know. Well, how good they're playing right now with Micah Parsons, that rookie's arguably up there for Rookie of the Year with Trayvon Diggs, even though, he's going to be up there for DPOY too.
Yeah.
So they're doing this mostly without DeMarcus Lawrence for most of the season.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Exactly. So it's kind of crazy how good they're playing.
That's crazy.
But they got humbled pretty good this week playing the Chiefs, and a lot of question marks about them coming into this week, and now they're like, I don't know if you saw them dance on the sidelines now. They feel like they're back to being the 3-time Super Bowl. They're looking to make their 3rd straight Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it definitely looks like it. They got the vibes coming into it now.
Yeah, well, Travis Kelce, right? He just rushed for his 2nd rushing touchdown of all time of his career. The team's looking good. Patrick Mahomes didn't play like Patrick Mahomes, but the team's playing good together. So I don't like to see the Chiefs win again because I think they're just overrated team overall, but we'll see what happens. We're going to move on to some of the NFC teams here, some more NFC teams. The Cardinals are still balling out without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. So they have, instead of Kyler Murray, they have Colt McCoy. So he's playing in as the replacement. When do you think Kyler Murray will be back?
Well, I think it's their bye week coming up
this
week currently, so I do see him coming back. The first week of December, the first slate of December games, I see him coming back with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean,
hopefully, yeah.
At least this Cardinals coaching staff is smart enough to sit him, unlike the Cleveland Browns coaching staff, who decides to play Baker Mayfield while he's hurt, and then get even more hurt against the 0-8-1 Detroit Lions. Coach Stefanski, you need to wake up, my guy, because they have a huge game Sunday night against Baltimore, and then the bye week. So you're only hurting Baker more playing him against the Ravens coming up on Sunday night. But, let's just play him against the winless Detroit Lions.
Even Baltimore. Even Baltimore, right? Baltimore sat out Jackson, put in Huntley. Huntley played amazing, right? They beat the Bears. You got to sit the guys when they're injured. I know a lot of people don't like this load management bullshit in like the NBA, but it's not happening in the NFL. They want to play, but they also need to rest. Exactly. They got to rest when they need to rest. And, yeah, like you said, Stefanski not doing a great job over there.
But the Cardinals are a wagon even without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, because if you look at the plentiful plethora of weapons, you have the touchdown leader, Erie, Pennsylvania's own James Conner, shout out. Thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah, nice. And rookie Rondell Moore's playing very well, and the veteran in A.J. Green. And arguably the most underrated trade signing that they made was picking up Philly's Zach Ertz.
100% Zach Ertz. Like, I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I watched a preseason game of Philadelphia, and it was right before the fantasy draft, and Ertz was going off. I'm like, I'm going to draft this guy. That was the year he had the best year of his life, and he hasn't been the same since, but he's been good since. It's not like he's been bad. And for some reason, the Cardinals was like, oh, we need more weapons because they didn't have enough. Like Jay forgot to mention, Christian Kirk leading the team in reception yards with D-Hop's absence.
Put it on a tee for you.
Oh, well, thank you. But in D-Hop's absence, Christian Kirk is leading the team in reception yards. So they have a lot of weapons, like Jay said, and we'll see how they go from there. Like I said at the beginning of the year, I think Kyler was going to win MVP, but right now with his injury, it may not happen because he's not playing these games, so we'll see how that goes. Your team just played them. My team played them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, nice.
The Detroit Lions. My team tied. Your team just won. Do you think the Lions are going to win a game? The remaining schedule right now. So they're playing the Bears, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Falcons, Seahawks, and Packers. Who do you think is going to? Who do you think the Lions are going to win to get their first win if they do?
Well, I think they are because they haven't been blown out in any of their losses this year.
No, not one.
It's come to a lot of timely penalties or late game heroics by each team.
Yep.
Because Baltimore and Minnesota beat them on game-winning field goals. So it's really, really tough to see how they're gonna not go. 0-15 and won't be the first to do that ever. So I do see them winning. I see them winning too, and I believe it's going to be the Falcons and the Seahawks. To the chagrin of Russell Wilson fans.
Wow.
But I think they're going to be winning a couple games this year. Just one.
Well, I was just trying to get the first game that they're going to win, and I think a lot of people. Well, I was looking at a TSN thing, and the betting favorites were Bears, Steelers. They go 0-16, and then a bunch of the other teams. So they didn't beat the Steelers, obviously. The Bears are coming up. But I think it's going to be the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, as Jay mentioned before, they whooped the Cowboys. But I still think that they're a team that's kind of shaky. They're still right at 500. And the Lions, they're not, like Jay said, they're not losing all their games by a large margin. They're losing by very close margins, or they're tying games. So I think the Broncos are going to get an ass whooping from Detroit.
And it's a shame because I really do I want to like the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I like their coach Dan Campbell.
He's awesome,
my boy from USC, rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown. But damn, I know stop being a Browns fan in the last couple of years. I can't imagine what it's like to be a Detroit Lions fan.
What about Okuda too?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh, is he hurt? I don't even know. I don't even know, man. Like, I don't pay attention to this Lions team because
they're a joke.
Shout out Jake Eagles, they're a joke. But big news. Cam Newton is back with the Panthers, and he got his first start this week too. He did play with them last week. He got a rushing touchdown, but he did not start for the team this week. He actually started, and he did pretty good. He got 189 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 46 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown, but did not secure that W against the Washington football team. 27-21 was the final score. What do you think about his performance?
A lot of storylines in that game.
Yeah.
Coach Ron Rivera being on the football team sidelines, so they'll reunite.
Yep.
Reunification between him, Cam Newton, and the Panthers faithful for that matter.
Yeah.
But Cam looked really good.
He did.
Not to say that he didn't play terrible.
Yeah.
But new coach, new system, so I think it's still going to take some time to get used to playing there. And they're still right in the thick of it for a wild card chaser. I think they're 5-6 now.
Yeah, they're still up there.
5 going in, so it's not like they're out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still time because the NFC, again, like we've said, there's really no clear-cut favorites anywhere to make any sort of push because I think the division leader in that South is the Buccaneers. They lost.
Yeah, they're the Bucs. Yep.
So I mean, they still got some time. I think now they're 5-6. They got 6 more games to go, so they have some room to work.
Yep, they just got to pray for a few more other losses in their division. But to get to it right now, we're midway through the season almost. We're going to get to our Super Bowl pick and our matchups. Who we think is going to be in the Super Bowl from the AFC and the NFC, and who do you think is going to win? My prediction, so this is probably a lot of people's from the NFC, is the LA Rams with Matthew Stafford and their loaded team now, signing Von Miller, signing OBJ from your Cleveland Browns. Then they have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey already, and Cooper Kupp leading the league in reception yards. I think they're going to make it out of the NFC and go to the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to be facing the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, when healthy, can be an MVP candidate every single game. And every season if he's healthy, I think. So I hate to say that because he's in our division too, but he's really good. And I think the Rams will actually win this year over the Ravens.
I don't believe that Matt Stafford up into the last 2 games that he just displayed. He's been terrible, throwing too many picks, too many indecisive passes. I haven't been sold yet. I was sold the first 5, 6, 7 weeks of the season until they got obliterated by the Titans, and I was very skeptical of it. The team that's been the most consistent in the NFC, I think, has been the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
And that's with Aaron Rodgers playing, not being with Jordan Love getting blown out by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I do see Green Bay making it to the Super Bowl. Their defense, I love. Jair Alexander, when he comes back, is going to be great.
He's nasty.
Eric Stokes has been a very nice surprise for that secondary as well. And Rashawn Gary, I think, is a more underrated player on the line from that team up north. Yes, it is Ohio State-Michigan week, so that team up north is playing Ohio State. They're losing. Sorry, Harbaugh. And I do see the Kansas City Chiefs making it to their 3rd straight Super Bowl.
Wow.
I think they figured it out. Pat Mahomes, healthy Clyde Edwards-Helaire makes, I believe, all the difference because he had that sprained MCL, and they were a little on offense. And the defense, I think, has figured stuff out as well, and that's been a huge knock on them the first half of the season. So I think Coach Reed and Mahomes gets themselves back to the 3rd straight Super Bowl.
3 in a row.
But it's going to be their 2nd straight loss because I will see the Green Bay Packers winning and Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay with the Lombardi Trophy.
After a win, eh?
It's going to be a very storybook ending to a very tumultuous season, I would say. A lot of people would have thought for Green Bay.
Yeah, the last dance here in Green Bay.
But we're moving to Puck next, and the team has been a very sad surprise. The last year's Stanley Cup finalists, they have Victor de Montreal, and for you Anglophones, the Montreal. They're dead last in the Eastern Conference.
2nd last behind Ottawa.
Even better. 5-13-2, but they're missing a glaring hole, and that is their netminder. Probably Team Canada starting goalie in the Beijing Olympics.
Yeah.
They go. Well, a whole other story.
Oh, yeah.
Carey Price.
CP3, CP31. I miss him a lot. Obviously, he's been dealing with a lot of stuff, personal issues that everyone wants to. He just wants everyone to respect his privacy right now. I know everyone has been, honestly. No one's really talking about it. So that's good. Hopefully he comes back soon. I know he's hit the ice recently, and he's back on practicing this week. But it's just been awful without him. Obviously, we have Kaden Primo, San Maltembo, and Jake Allen. 3 of them combined, their goals against average is a 3.72, and their save percentage is an 893.
Yes.
Is that nice? No, it's not. The team, honestly, the team has been producing everywhere, kind of, but we don't really have that clear-cut point getter. Nick Suzuki leads the team with 14 points, 4 goals, 10 assists. Cole Caulfield's coming back up from the AHL stint, which he's grateful for. But I don't know. We'll see what happens when Price is back. Hopefully the team can pick it up, but right now it's not looking good. But we got one team looking good over here, right?
Yeah, so let's. I remember, 2 weeks into the season, they're like, everyone was hitting the panic button.
Yeah.
For the Buds in Toronto. But, they've only been on a 15-game heater, winning 10 of the last 12. They figured it out. Jack Campbell, arguably, I think he should be on the U.S. Olympic team.
Yeah, honestly.
People are saying his name much, but I think he definitely deserves to be on it. 1.66 goals against average and a 944 save percentage. He's been unbelievable. He's definitely been the backbone of the Leafs team, whether you like to say it or not, because, we got Daddy Matthews, Mitch Marner, Michael Bunting for the Rocket Richard Trophy. You heard it here first. Absolutely that. You want to put
He's been saying that. Yeah.
But he's won the Rocket Richard. Sorry, Matthews. But the guy I don't think that gets a lot of talk, even though he's the captain. John Tavares is leading the team in goals.
Yeah.
With 8. I don't know how long that's going to last. Because Daddy is coming back.
Don't you mean Bunting?
Oh, sorry. I forget.
Yeah. Even.
But their first couple of weeks of the season, still trying to figure out the lines. Nick Ritchie being on the first line was not it.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
But they figured it out. Coach Keefe's got them working, and they're second in the Atlantic. What else do you want from them?
You can't ask Mel. What about that Wall guy? He's been playing pretty good too, right? Just got his first career shutout and his second career win. But like you've been saying, he's crediting this shutout to the team because the team played great in front of him. Marner got a shorthanded goal and 2 goals in that game against the Islanders, I think.
Yeah, I want to talk about Mitch Marner for a second. I'm a huge Leafs fan.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Marner's terrible.
Why is he leading the team in points with 17 then?
He's going to hit a lot of assists. He's got so many studs around him. But all the goals he's going to be coming is probably the distance between us and this camera. Because it's all he's going to be scoring. Because his shots are what they call blueberry muffins. But a team that's looking even better than the Leafs right now is leading the Atlantic Division is the Florida Panthers. Sergei Bobrovsky.
Bob's back.
Is having a pretty stellar season to start off. Under goals against average under 2 and a .937 save percentage.
Nasty.
Not to mention that your backup was only Spencer Knight. Not a big deal.
He's pretty good, I think. Didn't win the juniors or anything.
Exactly that, and they had a 12-game point streak to start off the season, going 10-0-2.
Yep.
Even with their coach Joe Quenneville going off for unforeseen circumstances that we know what's going on behind closed doors. But Andrew Burnett's still pretty good candidate to be a head coach, and they're still first in the Atlantic. And Sasha Barkov and Anthony Duclair leading the team with 9 goals apiece. And shout out to Wardon, Ontario's Carter Verhaeghe, still producing 20 goals last year in a 56-game season. Watch out. Unbelievable. Do you see any drop-off in Florida?
No. I don't think I do, because Florida's just looking too good right now. And in Florida in general, right, you have Tampa Bay there too, so maybe they're looking to compete with the Lightning after winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. They got to get some fans there, so they're playing really good. Like you said, Bob's playing good, and these players are playing really good, so I don't think they're going to drop off anytime soon.
Speaking of dropping off anytime soon, the Hurricanes, they've been on a heater.
Another great team.
And their goalie, former Leaf, Freddie Anderson.
Freddie.
Have you seen this? I don't know, it's been in the news the last couple of days that every statistical category for a goalie, the top 5, there's at least one
Toronto Maple Leafs
goalie in their lifetime.
I've seen that, yes. And
what has been the knock on the Leafs for the last 5 or 6 years?
Their goalies. James Reimer, Freddie Anderson, Jack Campbell are in those top 5s, I'm pretty sure, that you're mentioning. And Freddie, he's just playing amazing in Carolina, right? Posting a 1.88 goals against average. That's anything below a 2.5 is amazing. So 1.88 is amazing. And then a .937 save percentage with 1 shutout, an 11-2 record. So he's not losing games. He's winning every time he's going on the ice. And that's what the Hurricanes do. That's what Rod Brendamore likes to do. I think the Hurricanes are one of the favorites. They've been pretty good these past few seasons to make a cup run. But if you look at the NHL, like I was talking about, Jay was talking about the NFL being so competitive. The NHL is always competitive. The favorites right now, Colorado at the beginning of the season, were the favorites.
Are they in the playoff spot?
They're not. They're not.
No,
I'm sorry, but they're not. Bone Batterum's a bust. 10% chance, though, to win the cup. So you got your favorites having a 10% chance. That means this league is very, very, very competitive. Carolina being one of the teams that I think can make a push for it. So if they keep playing like this, if Freddie's playing like a Vezina goalie, then they're going to make a cup run for the cup, I think.
Exactly that. And they have some absolute studs everywhere you look at it. Marty Natchez, Sebastian Aho, Nino Niederreiter, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Pat Pesci, Jake Slavin, and your boy from Montreal, Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
Oh, yeah, nice $20 signing bonus.
Yeah, nice. But a team that's usually always there. I think they made the playoffs only 15 straight years.
Not bad.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, they had a good win Saturday night against the Leafs 2-0, but is there a little bit of a sense of urgency in Pittsburgh right now to start off, or going into November, December?
Yeah, do you got a panic button yet? I don't think they should right now. It's still really early. What we say, it's still November, right? So we always see the Leafs playing this good this year, every year, and then they fall off. I don't think it's going to happen this year because the Leafs are playing really good with their goalie. But
on the camera, but after we get off, it's going to be a different story.
Oh, it's just going to be scraps. But Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they have some serious goaltending issues, in my opinion. Tristan Jarry, is that their starter? He's not good. After seeing him in the playoffs last year, he made some terrible decisions. Maybe he can fix those, and maybe he can overcome these decisions and make better decisions for the team. But you do have Sid the Kid on the team, right? Arguably the greatest hockey player of all time, like some people like to argue. Gretzky's probably number 1. But Crosby's up there, and you don't like to see one of the great ones not playing good, right? So do you press that panic button? I don't think so. They still just have to find their rhythm again.
And wait till Geno Malkin gets in the lineup. Hasn't played a game yet this year.
Exactly. Geno's nasty. I saw this one thing. I want to bring this up. I saw this one thing where in whatever draft it was, when did Ovechkin and Malkin get drafted? What year was that?
03.
03. So that draft, Washington and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was debating taking Evgeny Malkin first overall, which means Washington would have taken Evgeny Malkin first overall, which means that Ovechkin would have fallen to second, and Crosby and Ovechkin could have been teammates, the best duo of all time. That's just something I saw recently. What do you think if Crosby and Ovechkin were teammates? Do you think some type of
more rings on their fingers?
And I don't think you would see as many personal accolades. Honestly, you wouldn't see all these.
I don't know.
Crosby's a great goal scorer.
He's not. He's more better of a passer than a goal scorer.
Yeah, but he is a good goal scorer, too. It's not like he's bad at it. He would be taking away some goals from Ovechkin, no? Or do you think Ovechkin would still be where he is right now?
He'd be closer to 894 than he is right now.
Damn, that's a good point.
But, I don't know. I'd love to talk about hypotheticals and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing you want to talk about. You want to talk about the Calgary Flames? They've been an absolute idiot to start off the year.
Oh my God.
7 of their 11 wins have come by the way of a shutout.
So their goalies are nasty.
Or it's the defense that's nasty.
Or
Daryl Sutter has been, I would say, a more defensive coach throughout his tenure of Calgary or LA, if you want to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't as hot as they should have been last year because he was coming in as an interim coach, so he didn't have all the guys that he wanted to have in that lineup. And now that he does, they're only first in the Pacific Division.
Ahead of Edmonton. Right, with the greatest player of our generation right now playing Connor McDavid. But
only has 2 goal of the year candidates already.
Yeah.
And it's not even December.
Those were disgusting goals, just deking through teams. But with Calgary, we have Mangiapane. He has 15.
He's such a good boy, that Mangiapane.
15 goals. 15 goals in 19 games played. I think he's top 5 in the league right now.
Does he make the Olympic team?
That's what I've been seeing a lot of, too. Does he make that extra spot of making the Olympic team? I'm pretty sure he played really good for that...
The Worlds.
Worlds, where he got the goal to win it, right? So
that's where this resurgence of this, I would want to say resurgence, but this renaissance of how great he's been playing, because the confidence is there now.
Yeah.
And I don't think he had it before the Worlds, and then
now he has it.
He's just lining it up like a Christmas tree right now.
Exactly. He's like you said, he's lighting it up. You have Gaudreau and Lindholm. They have 20 points plus each in 19 games, so averaging over a point per game. And like I said earlier, they're goaltenders. Jacob Markstrom, 7-3-4, right? 5 shutouts. 1.71 goals against average and a 9.42 save percentage. That's just disgusting. But what about this other guy, too? Yeah, what about this other guy?
Dan Vladar, undefeated in regulation. And he's posting even better goals against average than Jake Markstrom at 157. And a better save percentage at 945. But not to say the Cats meow or anything, but the Leafs kind of beat Daniel Vladar. That's that one.
Oh, that one shootout overtime loss or whatnot.
Not a big deal. Thank you very much. So I will take that to the bank. But I do the Flames under Daryl Sutter. I think is a whole different animal because that's when they made the Cup final in 2004.
Yeah.
Under Dave. Wow, I can't speak.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Daryl
Sutter. That's nice. And I see a lot of similarities with that team. Jerome McGinley, another star winger. You got 2 of them, and Johnny Ham and Cheese and Elias Lindholm, and you got that physical presence that no one likes to talk about because he's a bit of a prick. And Matthew Tkachuk, and whether you want to say it or not, he makes a difference out there.
He does.
And they're all doing this with Sean Monahan on the 4th line.
4th line?
Yeah, nice.
I did not know that. Mm-hmm. Goddamn.
Exactly that. The other Canadian team that's making some noise in the Central Division, the Winnipeg Jets, arguably the most complete team in the league before the season started. The top 6 is arguably the best in the NHL, and their goalie is going to be the starting goalie for the U.S. Olympic team. So there's really not a whole lot of holes on this team to really talk about. But they're ahead of the Avalanche.
Oh, the Avalanche aren't doing good.
No. That's Byron,
bust.
Nice. Don't even consider him to be on the Olympic team.
Man, come on. I put if we're talking Mangiapane or Bowen Byron, right? I'm picking Mangiapane.
So am I.
100%. 10 times out of 10. It's not even close. We're good.
The Edmonton Oilers, arguably the best team in the Pacific Division. You want to talk about Calgary being good? I want to talk about how the Edmonton Oilers haven't really played Calgary much this year.
More wins, too.
Exactly that. And you have the 2 best goal scorers, assist getters in the league, and Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. Both are playing unbelievable hockey right now. But I don't know, they might hit a wall right now because their best defenseman, Darnell Nurse, is going to be out for a while. He's been placed on IR. And the knock on this team has been goaltending forever. So do you really see this team being sustainable as a top 3 team in the Pacific?
Well, I got some insider news per Ryan Whitney here. I remember he was talking about Koskinen being the worst starting goalie on a good team in the league. And
kind of like Philip Grubauer last year.
Exactly. Kind of like Philip Grubauer, who got nominated for a Vezina.
I'm looking at it now, and isn't he dead last in save percentage this year?
Isn't Seattle almost dead last in the league? I don't know. Okay, are they hypotheticals? I don't know. But Koskinen not playing good, right? But the team in front of him is playing really good. So that begs to differ the question: does goaltending really matter at this point?
Well, I guess not. That's what teams like the Edmonton Oilers are doing. I mean, you can get yourself to the playoffs, but like Torch said, I think you have to change your game.
Change it. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up. But you have a guy, Draisaitl, getting 35 points, right? In what game? 17 games. And then you have Connor McDavid getting 33 points in 17 games too. So 35 and 33. When you got two of those guys getting that many points, I don't think goaltending's your biggest concern, but it is still a concern. You still got to worry about it because you can't in the playoffs. That's not the way that's going to happen. You're not going to be outscoring teams like Torts said. So you got to get that goaltending issue fixed. Maybe Koskinen just steps up, plays better this year, or you go out and get a better goalie.
I was going to say trade deadline acquisitions could be pretty key for the Oil. But I think it's crazy how McDavid, is in his 6th year right now, and he's already at 600 points?
And I saw this one thing too. If you look at 0 to 100 and 100 to 200, for every 100 points he's getting, it's less games every time, and it's less by a large margin every time. So he's just heating up really fast, and I think he's on pace to break some records at this point. I don't know.
Speaking of records, we have the biggest one right now that's up for grabs, and that's the goal record with Wayne Gretzky at 894, and the grade 8 hot on his tail. He's only leading the league right now in goals, which is kind of crazy. And I
think he's actually only 3rd in the league in goals.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Oh, he's right up there. Anyway.
Behind Kreider.
Yeah, nice. But he's right now 4th all time with 745, just past Brett Hall a couple of weeks ago. So the next biggest milestone to hit is 766 with Jaromir Jagr, and I can't believe that he's played 1,733 games played. But it seems like he's still playing right now in the Czech leagues.
Yeah, he's still kicking it around over there.
So I see him actually breaking Jagr's record before the end of the year. And then it's on the Gordie Howe at 801.
I don't know if he'll break that by the end of the year, but if he plays again next season, which I anticipate he will, he'll break that very easily. And then he just has to break Wayne's, and that's only another 93 goals to go. So it may take a few seasons to get there, but I definitely think he's going to break it if he's healthy and can play another 4 or 5 seasons. It's 100% he's going to break that. All he does is score goals. That's what he knows how to. That's what he knows. He doesn't know how to.
Who said that?
Whoa! I didn't say it. This guy.
The Senators have actually postponed last week's games due to COVID outbreaks and missed. I think it's up to 13 players at one point had COVID. A couple of coaches as well.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man.
100% vaccination rate.
Yeah.
Which is a scary part. So do you think this is going to be a long-standing issue?
Well, like you said, they're 100% vaccinated, so hopefully it's just like minor cases, like minor symptoms and whatnot, and they're not really feeling it. But who knows? This could be a problem for other teams or leagues if they don't get this under control. And you see postponement of other games. I know we saw this last year with the NBA at the beginning of their season. That's because COVID was way more prevalent back then too. Like it was spreading a lot quicker.
Vaccines weren't out yet.
And vaccines weren't out, so you saw a lot of issues. But to see this right now, to kind of repeat from last season, you don't like to see it because no other teams have issues and Ottawa does. So what's happening in Ottawa? Maybe that's the issue. I wouldn't be surprised. They got a bunch of young guys on that team. Don't expose the team.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks, Duchesne.
Mm-hmm. So, if this seems to be an issue, I think the Olympics are going to be coming into question because they have a 2-week window that if they have to make up games, they have it in their disposal. So, hopefully this is the only outbreak we see because if that is not the case, we're probably going to be seeing no NHLers in the Olympics, whether you want to see it or not. But we're only a month and a half, I think, into the season right now, and Malcolm wants to be talking about Stanley Cup.
No, obviously. You got to be talking about some predictions early on.
This team I see here, hasn't been the hottest of teams, but I think that's not going to last very long.
No. And so, like I said earlier on the podcast, I have the Carolina Hurricanes making a deep push. And then out of the West, new signing Jack Eichel with the team is the Vegas Golden Knights, right? They have Max Pacioretty on the IR. I think they may be pulling a Kucherov type of move there. And their goalie, if Leonard can play like he played in the past couple of seasons, if he can step it up again, this team's going to be something to deal with. Their defense amazing as well. I think they're a really complete team. And if they got Eichel, I think they're in a win-now situation, right? So I have Vegas against the Hurricanes, and I have Vegas actually winning it all this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I see the Calgary Flames coming out of the West. I think their style of hockey
playing really good.
Very, very hard to play against, especially come playoff time. Daryl Sutter. Daryl Sutter.
There you go.
Yeah, there's too many of them. No.
There's a lot.
But I do see the Calgary Flames coming out of the West, and sorry to say it, bud, but it's the Leafs coming out.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting the bias in this.
Jack Campbell playing a whole type of way. Bias here. They're just playing unbelievable hockey. Them are the Panthers I see coming out of the East.
Panthers.
But to keep it unbiased, I was going to pick another team, but the Calgary Flames are going to be winning the Stanley Cup this year.
Two Canadian teams finally, though.
I know, and the first cup since 1993 to come north of the border.
Thank God.
Speaking north of the border, Gary Bettman is...
This is big.
Yes, very big. Is idolizing the idea of a potential Nordique return with François Legault. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What do you think would have to come in place to have the Quebec Nordiques come back?
Well, I don't think it would be an expansion team that would happen if the Quebec Nordiques come back, because they just got Seattle and recently just got Vegas too as an expansion team, and 32 is an even number. You like to have that even number in the league. You don't want to have an odd number. So I think they'll either relocate a team or it just won't happen at all.
Yeah, I do see one team. I think they're called the Desert Dogs, just not to expose them, but they're pretty terrible right now. Sorry, Biz. I do see the Yotes moving at some point, whether it's north of the border or not. I know Houston's been a name that's been...
Really?
Yes, that's been detailed to be part of an expansion team or a team to be relocated, and that wouldn't mess up any of the division realignments because you just keep them in the same division.
That's true.
But, yeah, they've been dog water. And they're even worse than the expansion team. And we were talking about how bad that expansion draft was.
Yeah, that was our last episode, so we know. But, yeah, I would love to see Quebec team come back because Montreal...
That rivalry in the 70s and 80s was hockey.
I'm saying my dad would tell me about it all the time, just watching that all the time. I never got to experience it, so maybe it's something our generation will finally experience, a big rivalry.
Not to mention that 2 minutes. Logo is a little bit of sports.
It was kind of sexy. Didn't you get a few compliments wearing that to Shitty? Not a big deal. Philip Forsberg.
Speaking of not a big deal, Troy Terry.
This guy.
An absolute heater to start off this season. Only had a 16-game point streak, which is one off the franchise record for the Anaheim Ducks, held by your favorite Corey Perry. Absolute good.
Love him.
Playoffs. How do you think top 5 in goals and top 5 in points? And Anaheim is one of the surprises right now coming in the Pacific Division. Is he sustaining it? Is he going to be top 5 in goals and points?
I don't think he'll be top 5 by the end of the season. He had a little hot streak going there, but I think he's going to cool down. Doesn't mean he's not going to continue to score goals. I still think he will because he's still a good shot. So he's going to be playing good, but I don't think he's going to be finishing top 5.
Anaheim Ducks, watch out. They might make the playoffs this year.
Maybe. But we're going to get right into the NBA now. A lot of you guys missing basketball. We got our intramural basketball starting yesterday with a big dub.
Not a big deal.
Jay couldn't be there because he was watching his Brownies. You can't be mad about that. Go into a football game. So we're ready. We're ready to talk about basketball. One of the hottest teams in the NBA. Well, the hottest team in the NBA right now. The Golden State Warriors. They're first in the league. 15-2 record. You got MVP Steph Curry, right? He's just balling out 28 points a game. He's getting 6.6 assists and like over 5 boards too. Another big thing, he's talking to this commentator. He wants to make an all-defense team, right? He wants to make an all-defensive team. He is averaging 1.7 steals and like just under a block, maybe 0.6 blocks. He's not going to be blocking a bunch, but do you think he's going to be able to make that team? Any one of the teams?
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
One thing that you look at Steph Curry is the three-point production. I don't think you're looking at making defensive stands. Whether you're allowed to say it, I mean, Jordan made all defense. And no one really talks about that unless you're a real hardcore Jordan fan.
Yep.
But
also won Depoy though too.
I don't see Steph Curry winning Defensive Player of the Year, that's for damn sure. With how many studs they had, like Draymond Green, I would say is a much better defender than Steph Curry.
Oh yeah, obviously.
That. But damn, they're 15-2, number 1 in the power rankings, and they're doing this without your boy Klay Thompson, who loves wearing the Jackie Moon jersey, and James Wiseman, their number 2 overall pick in 2019, 2020, one or the other. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
But they're just gonna keep getting better and better.
Yeah, so like what happens when those guys return? Exactly, they're just going to be better. Maybe they turn to that 73-9 Warriors like they used.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're 15-2 right now.
But I was very skeptical of Steve Kerr. I
really
was a Steve Kerr hater.
Really?
Whether if you want to call it like as 4 straight against the Cavs in the finals, and then the Raptors beating them in 2019.
Yeah, true.
But he's doing something with his team right now because they only have Steph Curry as their bona fide superstar.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in the draft, right? Gary Payton II is can't miss TV.
Exactly. He's just so fun to watch.
Highlight reel dunks every night.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga through the draft has been unbelievable. Nico Mannion doesn't play much,
but
he's an absolute stud.
He's still really good, yeah.
But until they get back, it's still the good times are rolling. The sunset of San Fran. Yeah,
you just got to keep rolling with it. Get your healthy player, get you guys back, and you see what happens from there. You can't just overthink it. Something that just happened recently. Malice at the Palace Part 2. We have Isaiah Stewart fighting LeBron James after LeBron James I don't think it was intentional. There's some videos that kind of makes it look intentional, but I don't think it was. Hit him right in the eye. He was starting to bleed, and he got pretty upset. You'd see him, oh, okay, I'm good. And they just chase after him. Maybe 3 or 4 times that happened. And you have refs squaring up. He got a tech. LeBron and Isaiah got kicked out, got ejected. Who do you think was in the wrong in this situation?
NBA's soft, man.
It wasn't a fight.
If you want to see a fight, go watch A90's basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone wants to entertain everything and make it look like it's LeBron hates it. He threw a punch. I threw a punch. It was an elbow, guys. This is cool to Jets. And Isaiah Stewart, isn't he a rookie or second-year player?
He's pretty young.
He's trying to make a name for himself. I mean, if that was a veteran, my bad, we'll get drinks after the game. You buy me a drink. He wouldn't even. The Pistons wouldn't give LeBron his phone number. He was sorry. And then he tried to race through the tunnel to try to go.
I saw that too. It's just I think emotions has got the best of him.
Hey, Cunningham first career triple-double that game.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
At the time of the fight, the Pistons were up too by double digits too. But the Lakers came back. And leading to our next point here, LeBron is back, right? He was injured. I don't think the Lakers have to worry. He's the GOAT. LeBron James, the GOAT. I forgot I was wearing. Damn. LeBron James, he's the GOAT. They're 9-9, 8th in the West, so still holding on to a playoff spot.
Oh no, but there's the play-in tournament, which is the stupidest thing.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that's all happening this year. I don't know why the league wants to do that again. It's awful, but it probably will happen. Hopefully, the Lakers will not be in the position where they have to play in the play-in again. But who knows with injuries and whatnot? Maybe they will. Westbrook not playing. He's playing good. Westbrook, exactly. Averaging 5 turnovers a game. That's not something you like to see. Remember, we got that quadruple double with the 10 turnovers. Yeah, nice. Not good. But you still have AD averaging 24 and 10, and Melo shooting 46 from 3. So you got your players playing.
Best of his career, 46%.
That's the best of his career? That's insane. So Melo, all he can do is shoot nowadays. But you only really need that. LeBron James is still LeBron James, spending millions of dollars on his body every year, so he's back so quickly.
Me too, if you can't tell.
Do you think they have to worry, or do you think LeBron is back and they're back?
They're making the playoffs. If you want to say the NBA is rigged, you're going to have the best player.
Rigged.
It's a foregone
It is rigged.
Not to say they're going to make any noise in the playoffs, how deep the West is, how deep the East is. Both, again, you want to talk about this is a pretty good damn year for sports because there really is no cold play.
I love it.
You don't know who's not making the playoffs. You know who's not going to be terrible because, a team, I'm going to say a couple of points here, but a team that I didn't think was going to be very good this year and who happens to be only top 3 in the East is the Washington Wizards. Yeah,
we'll talk about the Wizards right now. I do not think so either. A lot of people I don't think thought they're going to be good, but they're 11-5, 3rd in the East. Everyone's playing good as a team with this team right now. Beal's averaging 23-6 and 5, and arguably one of the best starting 5s in the league. I don't know, right?
They're arguably the deepest team in the league.
Exactly. Spencer Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, KCP,
Montrezl
Harrell, and Kyle Kuzma, who's actually playing pretty good.
God, thank you very much.
Not playing bad. Does this GM deserve some credit for the trades that he made to get this team? I'm saying, right? They're 3rd in the East. How can he not get some credit?
Straight away, Russ Brick, who I think is a locker room. He's not great.
No.
Because he has to be the guy, and especially on the Lakers team, you have only 4 of them.
Of those guys who just want to be the guy, right? So that's not. I didn't like that fit either. I didn't like Westbrook going to the Lakers. I thought the Lakers were going to get Lowry. That would have been a great fit, but that didn't happen. Washington now looking really dominant. So I don't know. Another team though that's looking pretty dominant. Team that made the finals last year.
12 straight wins in a row.
12 in a row. The Phoenix Suns. They're 13-3, 2nd in the West, only behind the Golden State Warriors. But you have Devin Booker balling out again, getting over 22 points a game.
To the Kendall Jenner fortune?
I think so, right? Every time someone's dating her, they're playing pretty good. What happened to Ben Simmons? He's not playing good anymore. He's not playing at all anymore, right? So
it's the Kardashian effect.
The Kardashian curse. But then you also have CP3 averaging a double-double, getting over 10 assists a game, 14 points. And then you have other players on the team. You got Bridges getting 13.7, DeAndre Ayton, who's also, is he going to get that big contract, do you think?
He's playing like it right now. I know he didn't sign the qualifying offer to start off the season, but...
Right now it's worth $16 million if he signs that offer.
Ridiculous how much money's being made in the NBA.
Yeah.
Shoot a basketball, I can do that. Come on, just make contracts. Somebody.
At this rate, Flight's going to make the NBA. A couple. We're not going to talk about him today. Not too much to talk about. But we do have the Bulls to talk about. Because I think they're trying to bring a championship back to Chicago for the first time since What was it? 98 with Michael Jordan. After the second three-peat there. Right now.
Kind of cute though at the same time.
Yeah, sportsgasm. 12-5 in the East right now, but recently not playing good. 6-4 in their last 10. Do you think they're still going to be able to keep that up though?
Yeah, they're definitely a playoff team. I wouldn't say tops of the East, well, because you got the Brooklyn Nets in that division.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
But they got a pretty good big three, if you want to call it a big three, with DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Nikola Vucevic, and Zach LaVine, who's in a contract year, by the way, so he's got ball out to get.
I did not know that.
So he's averaging over 26 points per game, and DeMar DeRozan is averaging only 26 points per game too. So
wow.
They're a pretty good team and a pretty good guy who should be sixth man of the year.
Who?
And Alex Caruso.
6 man a year, you think so? I think so too, because defense is everything when it comes to a lot of sports, and this guy has been playing really good defense, getting 2.2 steals a game. Getting 1 steal a game is something. Getting 2 steals a game, averaging that, is pretty good. So he's been playing really good defensively, getting the ball to the scorers, to the guys who, like we said, DeRozan and LaVine, those guys score the ball. And then you also got Lonzo out there, right? He's playing good on D. He's passing the ball, and then Vucevic averaging a double-double. This Bulls team is looking really, really, really scary.
Yeah, and I mean, to chalk up being 6-4 in the last 10, they've been without Vucevic due to COVID, so he should be back either early or late this week, early next
Fantasy
week.
God.
Yeah, nice.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks.
But I think the Bulls are making the playoffs this year, given that curse. And they're looking 100%. Like the D-Rose Bulls right now.
You think so? Wow. So the Bulls lock for the playoffs? You heard it here first. Another team, though, that's not playing too good, not in a playoff spot, but they have a lot of guys producing, are your own Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors playing really good right now because they have 5 guys averaging over 14 points. You have Van Vliet getting 19, Gary Trent Jr. getting 17, OG getting 20, rookie sensation Scotty Barnes with a lot in his bag. I'm not going to lie. There's been some moves I'm like, Scotty can do that? Getting 14 points a game, and Spicy P only in 7 games, but averaging 17 points per game. I don't like Spicy P either. But he's getting the points he deserves to get. But right now, this team is 8-10, 12th in the East. One thing, like we talk to Trevor a lot because he's a big Raptors fan. He's always talking about them. All of you guys are big Raptors fans. But do you think this team is too small to compete? Do you think they need a big man? Yeah, exactly right.
Boucher, I love you, buddy, but I'm bigger than that. Chris Boucher. Gotta get in the weight room, my guy. But if they can get out a center either through trade, which before the trade deadline would be a huge asset to them. But I don't know if they're willing to give up any of that draft capital.
No.
Or any of their young studs to do that trade. I know I like to humor some people with the trade talks. And one I've been seeing a lot is a Malachi Flynn, Chris Boucher, and a couple first-round draft picks for Karl Anthony Towns.
I don't think that's going to happen. Cat's too valuable. You're going to get Malachi Flynn in there. Malachi Flynn's good, but I don't think Minnesota will.
He's no Delano Banton fan.
Maybe incorporate him in that trade, they'll get him. Oh my goodness.
CLE, not clear. I take the 45 because that's the bus I used to take, and I wear number 45.
R.I.P. Debbie. And we're going to go to our final predictions now for the NBA. We have I have the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors in the finals. KD versus Steph, MVP versus MVP candidate right now. The Nets, they're still, like they said, they've been saying in interviews they're trying to find their identity, but I still think they're playing really good without having found their identity. So they're a good team. Once they found that identity, maybe they're going to be even scarier than right now. And then the Warriors with Clay and Wiseman back, I think they're going to be way too good. So I have the Warriors winning it all this year. Again.
I think the Mets make the finals if Kyrie Irving plays. And that's
true.
Only time will tell. I'm banking on the New York government to open or have that law nixed to have, no pun intended, the Knicks absolute wagon. But if vaccines don't play a role in the season, I do see the Brooklyn Nets making the finals. And I have them against the Utah Jazz.
The Jazz, great pick.
I mean, definitely severely underrated. They're top 5 in the West, and they're always top 5 in the West. And I think they finally have the playoff experience to make it there.
Wouldn't this be something? The Chicago Bulls versus the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Once again. But this time, the Jazz maybe win. Who do you have winning?
I do see the Utah Jazz win that title. First title in franchise history. I was looking at the other day. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I would say, at least a third of the league that has not won a title.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's been a lot.
Thanks to your Celtics, thanks to the Bulls,
the Lakers included there. There's been a lot of teams in the NBA that just win constantly, right? So we like to see when, like, Milwaukee Bucks last year. I know
their first championship. Actually,
for a long time.
Years.
Yeah, for like since the 70s or something.
Thanks to the Lou Alcindor days.
Exactly, Lou Alcindor.
No one wants to know what that name is.
Exactly, you got it. If you know, you know. But we're gonna go on to another sport now. I like to call it soccer. You like to call it?
Yeah, it's football.
It's football.
Yeah. The Dylan Rose of the world and the Manchester bastard. But that sport, soccer, football, you want to call it, has been making some noise here in Canada.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure everybody in the country tuned in to see Canada versus Mexico, whether you're a football fan or not, because that was arguably one of their biggest wins in the program's history, and that win propelled them to first place in CONCACAF rankings in terms of qualifying for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, whatever you want to call it. It's on Earth. And in front of this huge three-man platoon with Alphonso Davies, Kyle Larin, who tied Dwayne De Rosario's all-time Canadian goal-scoring record.
That's
and
nice.
Jonathan David, all three of them very, very good young studs, and man, I'm super excited about this Canadian team.
Oh, I'm so excited. Wasn't Mexico ranked 12th in the world?
Yeah, they're
not too shabby.
Powerhouse. They made some noise in the last World Cup, making it to the quarterfinals. And you don't see that from a CONCACAF team very often. And they have some world-class players and proven players on this team. And most of these, I'm not trying to say these guys aren't proven, but they're very, very young.
Oh, they're a young team. And we're going to get a chance to hopefully see them in January against the U.S. national team. If that game's in Hamilton, you'll see me there. That's for sure. You'll see us there. But a little IG live stream for the boys. But if not, it might be in BC or Toronto because they have the grass field. That's where I hope it is because BMO is a very nice field.
Not like Edmonton on that.
Hey, we got the win. We froze them out, right? But I don't think we'll be playing out. I don't think we'll be playing outside in January. That's a very, very cold setting. Even for us Canadians, I don't think we can play in that. So I see it happening in BC. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
just because it's indoor. Just because it's indoor. That's the only reason.
Because honestly, BMO Field's the best pitch you're going to find in Canada because I don't know if the boys really want to play on turf again, especially playing on that frigid turf in Edmonton.
That was awful. That was awful.
And I think it's the best fans. I mean, Edmonton, to the hardcore Toronto soccer fan, when they last made the World Cup in 1986, they have a tough time finding venues to play in, and Edmonton was really the only city that really humored them into playing there. So for the avid soccer fan, Edmonton's their home for Canadian soccer. But the money, the nice pitch,
yeah, it is in Toronto.
I see that being in the game, the venue for January 30th.
Bring it to Ottawa. We have the Ottawa Fury Field there. Yeah, why not? Why not? Bring it to Ottawa.
Right. And you want to talk about World Cup qualifying?
Some big games happening.
The Serbian lads pulling off a huge upset, beating the Portuguese. And they now sit first in the Group A of the European UEFA World Cup qualifying, and they punched their ticket to Qatar.
Yeah.
And putting the Portuguese
on their
playoff.
On their heels, bro. Ronaldo, arguably the greatest goal scorer of all time, but a lot of people I'm a big Ronaldo supporter, and I think he's the GOAT. But a lot of people like to bring this up that he cannot score against some of these top teams. He can only score against the weaker teams. Serbia right now proving that they're not one of the weaker teams because they're top in their division, right? And Ronaldo couldn't score that goal in the last, I think the 90th minute or whatnot. Kind of just chucked it over the net. He didn't get his pen like he usually does either. He likes to score a lot of goals off his pen. But Serbia right now, got to credit their team. They played really good, punched their way in.
They're studs, right? You know they're studs.
Are they studs?
Yeah, nice. And Milinkovic Savic, arguably one of the best box-to-box midfielders in all of the world. I know Malcolm really likes talking about him all the time.
Oh, all the time.
Shut up about it. So it's going to be great to see him for at least 3 games in the World Cup. And another team that's headed to the playoff is the Italians.
Yeah.
After coming off the European victory, shout out to Woodbridge. We all love you in Woodbridge. They didn't like me very much. But showing up with an England kit on, but that was felt pretty good about myself that day. But the European champs are headed to the playoffs. In danger of the World Cup for the second straight time. Is that good for soccer not to see the Italians there?
It's not good to see, especially after you just win the Euro. I don't think it's good to see.
The system's broken.
The system is broken. You have Switzerland ahead of them right now. Switzerland's not like they're a bad team, but Italy's always been a good team, right? I don't know. I don't think it's great for soccer. I really hope that they win this playoff. But what happens if they don't win this playoff, right? What does that mean for Italian soccer?
It's fantastic.
Oh, for you, it's fantastic because you're a big English fan.
All of soccer in terms of a national scale.
I like Italy.
They think they own soccer. They invented it. And if they don't make the World Cup for the second straight year, they got to put something in their mouths to make them be quiet. I don't know. Man, could put a cannoli in there. Okay, say whatever you want. But the Giants of South America, Brazil, unstoppable, 11-2. This is apparently going to be Neymar's last World Cup. He likes to say that he is, but I really don't buy into
I don't think so.
Leo Messi said he was going to retire from international football, and he only went out and won the Copa America. So
exactly.
It's all talk right now. So Brazil, again, South American powerhouse, won the most World Cups ever.
Golden Boot winner prediction.
Oh, what was
it's not Timo Werner,
yeah.
But I think it's going to be Neymar of the Brazilian team this year. Like you said, Brazil is just destroying in their division right now. Obviously. So I'm not going to make a bad decision this time. I'm not going to make a stupid decision of Timo Werner. I'm going to go with a safe bet of Neymar here.
Yeah. I'm not to say he's going to score a lot of goals this year, but I'm going to go for a striker. And I'm banking on Portugal making it.
Yeah.
I'm going with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Hopefully.
Speaking of Ronaldo, his club team in Manchester United have been on the ropes the last couple of months. And I say months because it's been a tumult. It's been a roller coaster because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if you've been living on a rock, if you follow UK football, he was just sacked the last couple of days.
What?
And you sound so surprised. You didn't know this?
No, I actually didn't know this. It's actually the first time I'm hearing about it. I'm not gonna lie. First time I'm hearing about this.
Absolutely. But they've been up and down the whole season. They lose to a terrible team, and when Ole Gunnar's Solskjaer's on the ropes, Ronaldo bails him out again. It's been like that. And last week's result, 4-1 to Watford, was the tipping point, and
that's awful.
He got fired, and it was a long time coming. Whether you want to hear, I'm sure United fans can agree with me. No one wants to see a legend like Ole Gunnar get fired, but that's the case. So the managerial hunt is on right now for Manchester United. I know Malcolm's got so many lined up to know what he thinks.
It's myself, actually. I'm going to go coach the squad, go coach Ronaldo how to score the goal.
A lot of questionable decisions, I would say, on who he starts and who he does not play. Because they only spent, 100 million euro on the guy I love talking about every single time on the podcast, and that's Jadon Sancho.
Oh, my God.
Absolute stud. I don't know why he's not getting
every time.
Personally speaking, he's better than Mason Greenwood. I know that's a hot take for all the United fans out there. Shout out, Colm. I know you love to hear about it because you're, Mason Greenwood. But Jadon Sancho should be in the starting lineup, I believe. And Alex Telles, again, the transfers they make, they don't play him. Because Alex Telles was arguably the best left back in Portuguese football for playing for FC Porto before he went to United. And he doesn't play. And that's chalked up to Luke Shaw playing unbelievable football. I know I'm still on your lines here, Malcolm, because I know you want to hear
you take the words right out of my mouth right now. I'm not going to lie.
That. So Ronaldo doesn't want to play for a losing team, and he's under contract with United for the next couple of seasons. So whoever's going to be managing Manchester United, it's going to be from the mouth of Cristiano Ronaldo. I've heard of Luis or Pepe. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be in the next couple of days. I know Mauricio Pochettino, the PSG manager, would humor a job at United, and anybody right now would be salivating over the team and the history of United. But there's a lot of pressure when it comes to that job.
Yeah, you don't want to mess up. But that wraps it up for this episode, our first episode in quite some time. We just want to give the updates about what's going on in all four leagues, our opinions, our predictions, what we think is going to happen for the rest of the seasons. You may hear from us very soon with some more sporting news. We got a lot of other sports happening.
Maybe a couple betting episodes?
Maybe a few betting episodes. I know we got the World Juniors coming up soon in about a month too, so we'll get on that. But I like that idea of the betting episode. Not a big deal?
I think we'll be back at it every week, as per usual.
Oh, yeah.
And, fire up the TikTok, fire up the IG page.
Just fire us up in general. Maybe 2020 use the year, not 2021. Maybe it's 2022.
We'll be on a 12-month heater. So, until then, it's J Merch
and Colm.